Welcome to the channel. It's another day with FelloF. All right, today we'll be looking at technical analysis. Yes, so many beginners find it difficult to analyze properly. Okay, so the first thing you have to look is at the different time frames. Okay, you have multiple time frames, but the ones I have on my watch list are or on my favorite, sorry, I have the 1 minute, 3 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I have the 4 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours. I have the monthly, weekly, and the daily. Those are the major time frames I use. Okay, so I will show you something. Let's start with the line charts. I always love to explain using the line charts. Let's take, for example, the monthly is giving you this, okay, an uptrend, and maybe the daily, you see something like this. Okay, good. Let me extend this one a little. Good. Now, on the 4 hours, you see something like this. Okay. Now, how do you read this kind of market? It's simple. The first thing you have to understand is the overall time frame, the overall market direction is bullish. Okay? Why? Because the daily is giving you higher highs and higher lows. So let's call this daily. And then we call this let's just say H4. So this is the 4 hours. And then let's use this one as the 1 hour. Okay? Yeah. Because I wanted something different, but let's just take it the way it is. Let's consider you're a day trader. So this is 1 hour. Okay? Now, the first thing you know is the daily is bullish. Look at the 4 hours. The 4 hours is bullish, right? Because it is also creating higher highs and higher lows. Look, how do you get it? It's simple. As long as price is breaking structure to the upside, it is an uptrend, especially when price is not violating the last structural low. Okay, you see, we are creating higher highs, or we are breaking structure to the upside, and you see we've not taken out any of the lows, right? We've not taken out any of the lows. Now it's the same thing here. We are breaking structure to the upside. So this whole move on the 4 hours might be just this move from here to here. From here to here. Okay? This move that you see here is this move from here to here. It is still giving you some bullish vibes. But now this little move that you see here is this move that you see here. Okay? Now, let's take, for example, this one is the 1 hour. Now, what do you see on the 1 hour? There has been a change of character to the downside. Okay? So, price was creating higher highs and higher lows. And eventually, price failed to create a higher high when it got to this point. Rather, what did it do? It created a lower high. And now, it has taken out the last low, right? And now, at this point, we can say we have a change of character on the 1 hour time frame, telling you the trend has changed from bullish to bearish on the 1 hour. But overall, we are still very, very bullish. Okay, so this little move that you see here might simply be a pullback into this golden zone, into this area. Okay, it might be a pullback that price is targeting to come into this area. So you cannot say we are bearish. Why? Because overall we have 4 hours bullish and daily bullish. Okay, now we say internally we are bearish, but externally we are bullish. That's why you need to know the difference between a minor trend and a major trend, or an internal between an internal versus an external trend. Okay, I have a video on that, so you can check in the description. I have a complete list of videos that will guide you on this. So once you understand this, that's how you now know how to match all the time frames together, so that you should be able to have a bias. Okay, so at this point, what do? Let's take for example, you have watched the strategy I spoke about Fibonacci, right? And you understand how to use your Fibonacci. That's why I had to give you all those things, because we'll be using them on most of the videos that will follow. So if you have not watched the video about Fibonacci, go and watch. So you take your Fib from the lowest point to the highest point of the daily time frame. Okay, and now you know exactly where you are expecting price to pull back to. So you say you are expecting price to come to maybe 50%, 61.8, depending on what you see around this area, okay, within your golden zone. Now you see that price has started giving you the pullback, started giving you the retracement, right, on the 1 hour. So you have been expecting this retracement. You can trade the retracement. Okay, the overall trend is bullish, but the internal trend is giving you some bearish vibes, which means you can still capitalize off it. Why? Because you know that there is a higher probability for price to pull back into your golden zone before you continue the trade. Okay, this might take a whole week for it to pull back into this golden zone. Okay, for price to do this, it might take a whole week. Okay, now once you see this coming, you can start benefiting from it. Once you have a change of character on the 1 hour, you now wait for price to give you what we call a pullback. Okay, I believe I also made a video about pullback, stuff like that. If you've not watched it, just check my live streams. So once you get the pullback, you can sell, and you know that, okay, now I am selling, targeting the golden zone of the daily. Okay, so because of the fact that you know how to do top-down analysis, you've done from the higher time frame to the 4 hours, from the 4 hours now to the 1 hour, you know exactly where you are targeting, why you are selling, and where you should stop selling. Okay, once price gets into your golden zone, you need to reduce your sales. Okay, you need to start waiting to see an internal change of character to prove that price has to start going back up. All right, I believe this point is clear. So now that you've understood how to match multiple time frames, let's go now to our chart to see if that's exactly what happens on the chart, or I'm just giving stories. Okay, so let's just go to I'll have a clean chart. Should be GBP US, GBP AUD. Okay, now let's take for example, this is GBP AUD. Let's go to the daily time frame. Okay, now on the day, let me erase everything on the chart so we can do this together. Okay, so on the daily time frame, what do you see? Price is doing exactly what I told you guys. Okay, price is creating higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low. Okay, and it has created a higher high here. Let's just keep it here. Okay, now looking at what we see here, okay, I won't want us to look at it from this point. I want us to look at it from here and maybe from here. Okay, now you see that on the daily, what are we doing? Higher highs, we are breaking structure, creating higher highs and higher lows. All right, breaking structure to the upside. I believe we all can see that. Now, after every break of structure, what do you see? A pullback, right? And now I want us to mark out this area, because this is where we'll be working at, or this is the point where we'll be working. Okay, now let's go down to the 4 hours to see how that started. Okay, so you see that we're creating higher. Let me show you exactly how it looks like. Good. So it's the same thing I showed you on the line chart. We're creating higher highs and higher lows internally. Okay, internally, this is what we're doing, creating higher highs and higher lows, right? We all can see that. Now, we failed to create a higher high here. Rather, we created a lower high. And what happened? We crashed. Okay? We crashed below the last. You see, this was the last higher low. What happened? We crashed below and created a change of character here. Okay? We created a change of character here. At this point, what are we looking for? We know that, okay, on the daily, we are bullish, which means you take your Fibonacci from this low, right, to this high. Okay? And you know, price is pulling down to maybe around 61.8. Let's just say 61.8. Now, we have seen that. Let me take this out because this is the measure trend. Okay? And let me also take this out. I want us to work clearly. Now, we mark this area. Okay, this is our golden zone. We know that price is coming into our golden zone. I believe you must have watched the video about how I trade golden zones. So if you have not watched it, just go through the series I've placed under this video. There's a series, okay, in the description. Just go check it out and you'll see exactly how we mark out these key levels. Okay. Now, you have seen that there's a possibility for price to pull back into this golden zone anywhere between this high and this low. Okay, anywhere within this area, you're expecting price to pull down, and eventually price did. Now, let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so I want us to find our entry on the 1 hour and see how you can take advantage of this pullback while waiting for the overall trend. So this is how we do top-down analysis. Okay, when you analyze, you know exactly what price is doing, where price is in accordance to trend direction. Like maybe in accordance with your, I don't know how to put it, your strategy. Okay, so let's say you are trading pure price action like I do. You know that, okay, when price creates a higher high, there's a higher probability price is going to create a higher low in an uptrend. Okay, so when price is coming down to create that higher low on the higher time frame, you can now see it as an internal trend and sell. Since you are in an uptrend, you can sell all the way down into the new higher low that price is creating. That's exactly what I want to show you here. Okay, let's keep it going. Now, I've gone to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, and this is the area. So once you notice that price is doing what you have seen here, price has given you a change of character, right? Price has given you a change of character. Now, what do? You can mark from the last high to the last low that price created. And if price gets to anywhere around 50%, you start looking for your entry. What happened? Price got to 50%, right? If you are aggressive, you can just sell from there. It's simple. Because there is a possibility for you to lose and also a possibility for you to make money. So it's either you lose or you earn. That's how simple trading is. So you can place your stop loss above these highs. Now, since you are targeting, let's say 50% Fibonacci level, okay, of the daily time frame, you say, okay, if this trend has to continue to the upside, I'm expecting to see a 50% retracement before price continues. So you take from, let me bring it down a little. Good. You take from this low to this high, okay, and you mark out 50%. So this is the 50% level. You bring down your take profit to 50%. That's simple. This is a 1:3 risk to reward. That's a clean sell. Now, the reason why you don't need to target too deep is because you don't know how deep price will go. Price might decide to turn to reverse from 50%. It might decide to go to 61.8. It might decide to go to 78.6. It all depends. But this one, it came somewhere between 61.8 and 78.6. So that's how simple you should be able to do. Okay? And now, what do? Once price gets into this zone, into your golden zone, you know that their bias has changed. You have to stop selling and now start looking for buy opportunities. And what are you looking for? A change of character within the golden zone on the 1 hour. And what's that? This is it. Okay? Price was creating lower highs lower low, lower high, lower low. And what happened? Price failed to create a lower low at this point. What happened? It gave you a lower high, and came down and rather created a higher low. And what happened? It gave you a break out of it. And what do? You just place your fib. You can take it from the lowest point to this high and say, okay, if price pulls back, I get my entry. And this happened on the weekend. So price gapped down and gave us the entry. And what happened? We continue the trend direction. That's how simple it is. Okay. So how do I know it's a weekend? This is the price. It's on Friday. Okay. Friday 19th. And on Monday, price gapped down into our entry. And that's how simple it is. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I have been dropping so many of this, and I believe if this has been helpful to you, then you should be able to show some love by subscribing and also turning on the notification bell after subscribing, because I will be dropping back to back so you can receive notifications after whenever I drop. Okay. And guys, I'm going to be giving some live gyms every blessed day for the month of from the end of this July till the month of August. So stay subscribed and be ready. We'll be live every blessed morning before London session. I tried that earlier. I failed along the line. I made it for about 3 weeks and I stopped. But this time around, I'm going to hit it for at least 1 month. You know, it's not easy to be that consistent in Africa because maybe live, maybe network, whatsoever. But I'll do my best to be as consistent as I can. So let's get this going, guys. Love you so much. Looking forward to see you on the next video.